Close your eyes for a moment and listen to the silence that hangs between the stars, a profound quiet that holds the universe's final secret. Every story has an ending, from the briefest flicker of a candle to the grand, slow burn of a civilization across millennia. The universe is the grandest story of them all, a narrative written in light and gravity, and it too has a final chapter. We look up at the night sky and see a portrait of eternity, but this is an illusion, a beautiful lie told by distance. Every single point of light you see is a sun, and every sun is a clock, slowly, patiently, ticking down to zero. The end does not arrive like a sudden storm, but rather like the slow, inevitable creep of twilight over a silent world. To understand this ending, we must travel forward into the deep future, far beyond the lifespan of mountains or even our own planet. Our journey begins with the familiar comfort of our own sun, the giver of life, which will one day become a harbinger of destruction. For billions of years, it has been a stable engine of fusion. But this stability is finite, a temporary piece in a cosmic story. Imagine a time when the Earth is ancient, its oceans have boiled away, and its continents are scorched beyond recognition. The sun will swell into a magnificent and terrifying red giant, its outer layers expanding to consume the inner planets one by one. Our world, if it survives at all, will become a charred cinder orbiting a star that has forgotten the life it once nurtured. This is not a unique tragedy, but the common fate of countless worlds orbiting countless stars across the cosmos. It is the circle of stellar life. After its grand expansion, our sun will collapse, shedding its outer layers to form a beautiful, ghostly nebula in the darkness. At the heart of this cosmic ghost will remain a white dwarf, a hyper-dense ember of what was once a mighty star. This is the first stage of the end, the era of dying stars, a time when the universe is filled with stellar ghosts and embers. Now let us travel even further, into a future so deep that the light of the last star has begun to fade from the sky. We enter what is known as the degenerate era, a cosmos dominated not by burning suns but by their cold, dense corpses. The universe becomes a silent, sprawling graveyard of white dwarfs, neutron stars, and the inescapable darkness of black holes. Galaxies themselves will begin to dissolve, their careful spiral structures undone by the relentless pull of gravity over trillions of years. Stars will be flung into the intergalactic void, wandering alone in the crushing darkness, their light too faint to ever reach a neighbor. The planets that survive their suns' deaths will continue their silent orbits, frozen worlds coasting through an eternal night. The moon, our faithful companion, will have long ago departed from Earth's embrace or perhaps spiraled inwards to its destruction. This is a universe of shadows and whispers, where the only significant events are rare, accidental collisions in the near-total blackness. Even the building blocks of matter, the protons themselves, may not be eternal, potentially decaying over unimaginable timescales. If protons decay, then everything we know, the dead stars, the frozen planets, will slowly evaporate into a thin mist of radiation. All the complex structures built by the universe over eons will simply dissolve, leaving nothing behind but fundamental particles. But one entity remains, one final monarch of the cosmos, patiently gathering the fading remnants of reality into its grasp. These are the black holes, the true masters of the deep future, growing ever larger as they sweep the darkness clean. Eventually, even the supermassive black holes at the centers of dead galaxies will be the only organized matter left in existence. The gravitational reign seems absolute, a final, perfect state of being from which nothing, not even light, can escape. The universe becomes a vast, empty void, punctuated only by these solitary, silent titans of gravity, separated by impossible distances. But even a black hole is not forever. Even this ultimate prison of reality is subject to the slow march of time. A strange and subtle process, a quantum whisper at the edge of space-time, begins to chip away at their power. This is Hawking radiation, a theoretical mechanism by which black holes can leak their mass back into the universe over eons. It is an impossibly slow process, a form of evaporation that takes longer than any timescale we have yet considered. For a stellar mass black hole, this evaporation could take 10 to the power of 67 years to complete. For the supermassive giants, it could take a Google years, a 1 followed by 100 zeros, an age that beggars the imagination. The universe will wait in perfect stillness as its final inhabitants slowly, painstakingly, radiate themselves away into nothingness. In their final moments, these dying black holes will release a final, brilliant flash of energy into the void. These will be the last interesting events in the history of the cosmos, the final fireworks at the end of time. After the last black hole evaporates, the universe enters its final ultimate state, an era known as the heat death. There is no more structure, no more complexity, no more difference from one place to another, only a uniform, cold expanse. It is a sea of low-energy photons and stray particles, drifting aimlessly through a space that has expanded to near infinity. Time itself loses its meaning, for in a state of perfect equilibrium there is no change to measure its passage. The concepts of past, present, and future become irrelevant in a universe that will never, ever change again. This is the ultimate silence, the true end of the story, a state of perfect, unshakable, and eternal rest. All the light and fury of the Big Bang, the birth of galaxies, stars, and life, concludes in this cold, empty peace. The truth is terrifying not because it is violent, but because it is absolute. It is an ending from which there is no appeal. The cosmic narrative that began in a point of infinite heat and density finally resolves into an eternity of near absolute zero. Let us contemplate this final state, this heat death, with greater clarity. It is the logical conclusion of the second law of thermodynamics, which dictates that entropy, or disorder, must always increase in a closed system. The universe is the ultimate closed system, and its journey is a one-way street from the perfect order of the Big Bang to the perfect disorder of a featureless void. Every star that shines, every planet that forms, is a temporary pocket of order, paid for with a greater overall increase in the universe's chaos. In this far-flung future, the universe has expanded for so long that its temperature approaches absolute zero. The meager remnants of existence, a diffuse bath of photons, neutrinos, and perhaps some stray electrons and positrons, are spread so thinly that interactions become statistical impossibilities. The concept of place becomes meaningless when every region of space is fundamentally identical to every other, a perfectly homogeneous and isotropic state. There is no warmth, no energy gradient to power any process, and therefore no possibility of computation, of thought, or of life. But what if this quiet decay is not the only path? Some cosmological models propose a more violent, more dramatic conclusion. Consider the Big Rip, a scenario driven by a mysterious force called phantom dark energy. Unlike a cosmological constant, this form of dark energy grows stronger over time. Its repulsive force would not only accelerate the expansion of the universe, but would continue to increase until it could overcome the fundamental forces of nature itself, resulting in a terrifying, escalating disintegration of all matter. In the final stages of a hypothetical Big Rip, the fabric of reality itself would be torn asunder. First, clusters of galaxies would be separated. Then, the gravitational bonds holding individual galaxies together would fail, and their stars would be flung into the expanding void. In the final minutes, the force would be strong enough to overcome the gravity holding solar systems together. Planets would be shredded, followed by the stars themselves. In the last fractions of a second, atoms would be ripped apart, and then the very nuclei within them, ending in a final, definitive singularity of infinite scale. An alternative fate, once widely considered, is the Big Crunch. This theory suggests that if the density of the universe were high enough, the gravitational attraction of all matter would eventually overcome the expansion initiated by the Big Bang. The expansion would slow, halt, and then reverse. Galaxies, once rushing apart, would begin to accelerate towards each other, culminating in a cataclysmic collapse. The sky would grow hotter and brighter than 1,000 suns as the cosmic microwave background is blue shifted into a searing furnace, making all of space a stellar interior. The Big Crunch would be a mirror image of the Big Bang, a universe collapsing back into the primordial singularity from which it came. All of cosmic history would be undone, as stars and galaxies merge into a single, infinitely hot and infinitely dense point. Some speculative theories even propose a cyclical model, where this crunch would ignite a new Big Bang, creating a new universe from the ashes of the old one. This big bounce offers a kind of cosmic reincarnation, an eternal cycle of birth, death, and rebirth for existence itself. However, current observations strongly favor a flat, accelerating universe, making the heat death the most likely scenario. Let us return to that silent, cold future. Even in this state of near-perfect emptiness, quantum mechanics may still permit strange events. Through a random quantum fluctuation, a new universe could, in theory, spontaneously emerge from the void. The probability is infinitesimally small, but in an infinite amount of time, even the most improbable events could potentially occur. An entire cosmos, born from the ghost of our own. There is also the concept of the Boltzmann brain, a philosophical and statistical paradox arising from this deep future. In a universe governed by random fluctuations, it is statistically more likely for a single, self-aware consciousness to fluctuate into existence momentarily, complete with false memories of a life lived, than it is for an entire ordered universe like ours to form. This haunting idea suggests that in the eternal void, the most common form of existence might be these fleeting, lonely minds, born into a universe that is already dead. Let us pull back from these deep abstractions and consider the timescale again. The era of stars, the stelliferous era that we inhabit, is a fleeting moment of warmth and light. The vast, overwhelming majority of the universe's lifespan will be spent in the cold, dark, degenerate, and black hole eras. Our time, the time of life and light, is an extraordinary, beautiful, and vanishingly brief exception to the eternal rule of darkness and silence. We are living in the universe's vibrant, cosmic dawn. The end of the universe is terrifying not for its drama, but for its sheer, uncompromising finality. It represents a state of perfect, irreversible equilibrium. All potential has been exhausted. All information that once defined stars, galaxies, and living beings will be smeared across the cosmos in a uniform wash of low-energy radiation. It is the end of memory, the end of structure, and the end of the very arrow of time itself. The story of the cosmos concludes not with a period, but with the ink running out entirely. This ultimate fate forces us to confront our own place in the grand narrative. If all is destined for this cold oblivion, what is the meaning of our brief existence? The beauty of a sunset is not diminished by the knowledge that night will fall. In the same way, the value of life, of consciousness, and of discovery is not erased by the universe's ultimate end. Perhaps the meaning is found precisely in this brief window of opportunity, the fleeting chance to observe and understand this magnificent temporary cosmos. Think of every work of art, every scientific discovery, every act of love and compassion as a brief, beautiful rebellion against the second law of thermodynamics. We create pockets of order and meaning in a universe that is drifting towards chaos. These creations are temporary, yes, but they are no less profound. They are the universe's way of briefly knowing itself before the long sleep begins. We are the custodians of that fleeting cosmic self-awareness, a momentary flicker of light against an eternity of darkness. In the final analysis, the universe does not care for our stories or our survival. It operates according to cold, indifferent physical laws on a scale that dwarfs human comprehension. The terror comes from this profound indifference. It is the realization that our existence is a fragile accident in a system that is inexorably winding down. And yet, the awe comes from the same place, the fact that in this indifferent cosmos, accidents like consciousness and wonder can happen at all, however briefly. As we conclude this journey, let the concepts settle. The death of suns, the dissolution of galaxies, the slow evaporation of black holes, and the final, cold peace of the heat death. This is the trajectory of existence, the ultimate path of all things. It is a story of unimaginable scope, written in the language of physics, a truth that is both terrifying in its finality and sublime in its majestic, unhurried certainty. Let this knowledge not bring despair, but a deeper appreciation for the warm, vibrant present. The eventual darkness gives the present light its value. The silence that awaits makes the current sounds of life precious. The ultimate simplicity of the end state highlights the incredible, temporary complexity of our world, our solar system, our galaxy. We are privileged to witness this brief, anomalous phase of the universe, the phase where things happen, where matter arranges itself into stars and planets, and on at least one of those planets, into minds that can look out and wonder what it all means before it fades away. Imagine the last thinking being, perhaps not human, but some far future descendant of life, witnessing the fading of the last embers of the cosmos. What would it think? It might reflect on the incredible journey, from the initial fire of creation to this final, pervasive cold. It might hold the memory of all that was, the galaxies, the nebulas, the long-lost civilizations, as the last light in the universe. A final, silent monument to everything that ever existed, before it too succumbs to the encroaching equilibrium and eternal night. This process of cosmic decay is the ultimate form of recycling. Every complex structure, from a planet to a star, is broken down into its most fundamental constituents. The universe meticulously dismantles itself, ensuring that in the final state, no single particle holds more energy or information than any other. It is a return to a state of perfect simplicity, a cosmic slate wiped clean. Whether that slate can ever be written upon again is a question that lies beyond the known boundaries of physics and enters the realm of pure philosophy. Some theories, like Roger Penrose's conformal cyclic cosmology, offer a poetic escape from this finality. He proposes that the universe, after reaching its state of maximum entropy in the far future, undergoes a transformation. Because there is no scale in this featureless void, the vast, cold end state of one universe becomes mathematically equivalent to the hot, dense beginning of another. The end of one eon becomes the Big Bang of the next, an endless cycle of cosmic death and rebirth, with the memory of the previous universe carried across the divide. Let us return to the most probable path, the quiet fading into a cold, dark void. This is the universe's natural state. The vibrant, energetic cosmos we know is the exception, a temporary phase of disequilibrium. The ultimate truth is that existence is a slow, patient journey back to nothingness. Not a violent, sudden end, but a graceful, infinitely long diminuendo. The great cosmic symphony, having played its furious opening movements, now slowly, over trillions of years, fades out its final chord into perfect, unending silence. This terrifying truth is also a source of profound calm. It relieves us of any cosmic burden. The universe has a destiny, and it does not require our intervention. Our role is simply to be, to observe, and to appreciate the fleeting cosmic moment we have been given. The end of everything provides the ultimate perspective, showing us that our terrestrial concerns, our conflicts and our triumphs, are but motes of dust in the grand, silent expanse of time. In the face of cosmic annihilation, all we have is the present. We have explored the mechanics of the end, but the philosophical weight remains. The end is terrifying, because it is the end of potential. A universe in heat death has no future. It is a static, unchanging sculpture of what was. Every possibility has been exhausted. Every path taken or not taken has become irrelevant. The story is not just over. The book itself has disintegrated into a uniform dust, with no one left to even remember that a story was once written on its pages. It is the ultimate and most complete form of forgetting. Yet, within this framework, every moment of our existence is a statistical miracle. The precise arrangement of particles that constitutes your consciousness is an island of impossible order in an ocean of encroaching chaos. This arrangement is temporary, but its existence at all is the most profound fact in the cosmos. The universe's terrifying end does not invalidate the miracle of the present. It sanctifies it, making our brief flicker of awareness the most precious and meaningful event in the entire cosmic timeline. Consider the legacy of our civilization, or any civilization. We build structures, we gather knowledge, we create art. In the face of heat death, all of this will be lost. The pyramids will decay, the data will be erased, the masterpieces will evaporate. But the act of creating them was not pointless. It was the universe expressing itself, bending the laws of physics and chemistry to create temporary beauty and order. We are the instruments through which the cosmos plays its most intricate and beautiful music, even if the final note must be silence. The terror of the cosmic end is the terror of ultimate loneliness, a universe of solitary particles, forever separated by expanding space, never to interact again. It is the final irreversible separation, but it forces us to recognize the gift of our current reality, a universe of connection, where particles are bound into atoms, atoms into stars, and conscious beings can connect through language and shared experience. This state of interconnectedness is the precious anomaly, the fleeting state we must cherish before the great separation begins. The story of the universe is a symmetrical one. It begins in a simple, uniform state of intense heat and density. It will end in a simple, uniform state of extreme cold and emptiness. In between these two states of simplicity lies all of complexity, all of history, all of life. Our existence is nestled within this grand cosmic arc, this journey from one form of simple perfection to another. We are the beautiful, messy, and complicated middle of the story, the part where everything interesting happens. The laws of physics that govern this end are the same ones that allowed for our beginning. The gravity that will one day feed the final black holes is the same gravity that pulled together the gas and dust to form our sun and earth. The thermodynamics that dictates the final heat death is what drives the engine of our star and the chemistry of life. The end is not a separate chapter. It is woven into the very fabric of the beginning, an inevitable consequence of the rules that make our existence possible. And so, we find a strange comfort in the terrifying truth. The universe is a single, coherent story, and we are a part of it. The end is not a failure, but the fulfillment of the cosmic narrative. To understand this end is to understand the whole system, to see the beginning, middle, and end as one unified process. It is a perspective that transcends fear and invites a deep, meditative calm, a sense of belonging to the grandest, most epic story ever told, even if we can only ever read a single, fleeting page. This final state of the universe, the endless expanse of cold, dark, and empty space, is not truly nothing. It will still contain the faint whisper of quantum fields and the stretched-out fabric of space-time itself. It is the universe reduced to its most fundamental and quietest state of being. All the energy and matter that once composed our vibrant cosmos will still be there, but in a state of maximum entropy, a final, unchangeable equilibrium. The ingredients remain, but the recipe is forgotten forever, and no more meals can ever be cooked. It is a profound thought that the very expansion of space, the force that carries galaxies away from us and reveals the vastness of the cosmos, is also the engine of its ultimate demise. This expansion stretches the light from distant stars, it cools the background radiation from the Big Bang, and it will eventually isolate all remaining matter into causally disconnected islands. The very process that makes the universe grand is the same process that will ensure its cold, empty, and silent end. The scale of its beauty is inextricably linked to the scale of its desolation. Some have wondered if a sufficiently advanced civilization could escape this fate. Could they harvest energy from the final evaporating black holes? Could they create a pocket universe, or find a way to reverse entropy? While these ideas make for compelling fiction, they collide with the seemingly absolute nature of physical law. The second law of thermodynamics appears to be the most fundamental rule of the cosmic game. It is the house that always wins. The universe is not a problem to be solved. It is a process to be witnessed. So let us embrace this final vision, an endless, silent, and impossibly vast space. The temperature is a fraction of a degree above absolute zero. The last echoes of the last evaporating black hole have long since dissipated. There is no movement, no change, no energy flow. Time has no arrow, and history has concluded. The universe has finally reached its ultimate state of rest. This is not a scene of horror, but one of profound, ultimate peace. The story is over. Let the silence be the final word. The final terrifying truth is that there might be no grand purpose, no final judgment, no underlying reason for existence. The universe simply is. And it will, one day, simply cease to be in any meaningful sense. Our search for meaning is a human, biological impulse projected onto a cosmos that is inherently meaningless. The terror and the beauty come from the same realization. We are free to create our own meaning in the brief time we have, in the small corner of the cosmos we occupy, before the long night falls. Every photon of starlight that strikes your eye has traveled for years or centuries or millennia to complete its journey. It is a messenger from the past, a relic of the universe's energetic youth. In the far future, such messengers will become infinitely rare. The sky will be truly, perfectly black. The ability to see a distant star is a temporary privilege of living in this early, dynamic epoch. We are surrounded by a sea of light and information that will one day dry up completely, leaving an eternity of sensory deprivation. This vision of the end has evolved. A century ago, we believed in a static, eternal universe. Now, we understand we live in a dynamic cosmos with a definite beginning and a probable end. Our understanding is a work in progress, but the arrow of entropy points in only one direction. This knowledge is a form of maturity, a cosmic coming of age, where we accept that we are not the center of the universe and that our existence is finite. It is a humbling and ultimately liberating perspective. The cosmic timescale is the ultimate context. A human life is a fraction of a second in a cosmic year. Human history is a few seconds. The entire age of the Earth is a few months. The age of the universe is a single year. And the time until the last stars burn out is millennia. The time until the last black hole evaporates is an eternity of eternities. Our entire existence is a spark from the fire of creation, destined to go out, but a brilliant spark nonetheless. The end is terrifying because it is a confrontation with the absolute. There is no after. There is no sequel. The laws of physics themselves may break down in the final moments of a big rip or inside the singularity of a black hole, but in the heat death, the laws of physics are perfectly preserved. There is simply nothing left for them to govern. It is the ultimate triumph of law over structure, of principle over action. The rules of the game remain, but all the players have gone home. And so, the great cosmic narrative concludes. It was a story of transformation, of energy into matter, of simplicity into complexity, of non-life into life. And then, the long, slow, patient reversal of it all, of life into non-life, of complexity back into simplicity, of matter back into energy. It is a perfectly balanced, symmetrical story, a grand and beautiful arc from nothing to everything, and back to nothing again. And we are the lucky ones who get to witness the everything part. Let this knowledge settle into a sense of peace. The universe is not ending tomorrow. It is not ending in 1 trillion years. The timescales are so vast that they are, for all human purposes, infinite. We are safe. We are living in the golden age. The terror is an intellectual one, a philosophical chill, not an imminent threat. It is the feeling of standing on a shore, watching a calm sea, and knowing that, eventually, the entire ocean will evaporate, but not today. Today, the sun is warm, and the sea is beautiful. The final, terrifying truth of the universe's end is ultimately a story about us. It defines our existence by placing it in context. It gives us a framework for appreciating the rarity of warmth, the preciousness of complexity, and the miracle of a single, conscious thought. The cosmos is the ultimate memento mori, a reminder that all things must pass. And in that reminder, we find the imperative to live, to learn, and to appreciate the profound beauty of our fleeting sun-drenched moment. The cosmic microwave background radiation, the faint afterglow of the Big Bang, still fills all of space. It is a baby picture of the universe, a snapshot from a time when everything was hot, dense, and simple. In the far future, this radiation will have cooled and stretched into undetectability. The evidence of our own origin will be erased by the expansion of time. Future civilizations, if any exist, may live in a universe so empty they could never guess there was a Big Bang. They would be cosmic orphans, with no knowledge of their own creation story. Consider the nature of information. Every event that happens, every particle interaction creates information. This information is currently being processed in stars, galaxies, and biological systems. But as the universe cools and structures decay, the ability to process information will cease. In the end state of heat death, the total information content of the universe becomes static and meaningless. It is the equivalent of a library where every book has been shredded into individual, randomly scattered letters. The content is technically still there, but the stories are lost forever. The journey from the Big Bang to the heat death is the universe's grand project of spending its inheritance. The low entropy state of the beginning was a tremendous store of potential energy, a cosmic trust fund. Every star that shines, every galaxy that spins, and every life that thinks is an expenditure from this fund. We are living through the era of cosmic wealth, a time of extravagant spending. The far future is the inevitable bankruptcy, when all the energy has been spent and all the potential has been realized, leaving a cold, empty vault. Perhaps the most terrifying aspect is the sheer scale of the loneliness to come. For unimaginable lengths of time, the universe will consist of solitary, dead stars and wandering planets, separated by distances so great that light would take trillions of years to cross them. Then, for even longer, it will be just black holes, each an island universe unto itself, completely unaware of the others. And finally, just particles, each one effectively alone in a cosmos so vast that the chance of it ever encountering another particle approaches zero. So what can we do in the face of this knowledge? We can act as the universe's memory. We can build archives of knowledge, create works of art, and strive to understand as much as we can. Even if these creations are doomed to ultimate decay, the act of their creation is a meaningful defiance. We are the scribes of the cosmos, writing a story on pages that we know will one day turn to dust. The dignity lies not in the permanence of the book, but in the beauty of the script. The thought of the end purifies our perspective. It strips away the trivial and focuses the mind on the fundamental. What matters in the face of total annihilation? The warmth of a star on a planet's surface. The intricate dance of gravity that holds a galaxy together. The chemical miracle that allows a collection of atoms to ponder its own existence. These are the real treasures of the cosmos, the temporary wonders that stand in defiant contrast to the eternal simple silence that awaits. The end of the universe is not an event, but a process. It has already begun. Entropy is increasing with every passing moment. Every star that burns is a step closer to the end. Every time a hot object cools, the universe inches towards equilibrium. We are not waiting for the end. We are living within it. It is the slow, silent, and invisible current that carries all of history on its back, pulling everything inexorably towards the final, placid ocean of heat death. And in that final ocean, will anything remain? Quantum mechanics suggests that even in a vacuum, there are virtual particles winking in and out of existence. Perhaps the final state of the universe is not a true nothing, but an endless, gentle simmering of quantum foam, a quiet, ghostly echo of the vibrant reality that once was, not a definitive end, but an eternal, silent epilogue, where the potential for existence is always present, but never again realized. This entire cosmic story, from the fiery birth to the icy death, may be just one possibility among many. The theory of the multiverse suggests that our universe could be just one bubble in a vast ocean of other universes, each with its own physical laws, its own history, and its own ultimate fate. Our grand, terrifying end might be just a local event, a single chapter closing in an infinite library of cosmic stories that continue to unfold, forever, beyond our reach. The truth is terrifying because it is the ultimate boundary of our knowledge and our power. We can understand the end, we can model it, we can describe it with mathematics, but we cannot alter it. It is a confrontation with our own limitations as a species and as a form of matter. We are passengers on a ship heading towards a predictable destination, and all we can do is observe the journey and appreciate the view along the way. Let this final thought bring you peace. The universe's end is a return to its beginning, a state of simplicity and uniformity. The cosmic story is a perfect circle. All the complexity, all the beauty, all the life we see is a temporary departure from that natural state. Our existence is a beautiful, fleeting exception. And knowing the end is not a cause for fear, but a reason for profound gratitude for the brief, extraordinary moment of the exception, the moment we call now. This process of cosmic decay is the ultimate form of recycling. Every complex structure, from a planet to a star, is broken down into its most fundamental constituents. The universe meticulously dismantles itself, ensuring that in the final state, no single particle holds more energy or information than any other. It is a return to a state of perfect simplicity, a cosmic slate wiped clean. Whether that slate can ever be written upon again is a question that lies beyond the known boundaries of physics and enters the realm of pure philosophy.